I'm Rachel. I'm Director of Grants and Programmes at the Film and Television Charity. I do have some slides which I will attempt to share. So, you know, just to give you kind of 1 minute on the charity, the Film and Television Charity is here to support everyone working behind the scenes in film and television and cinema, through both the good times and the bad, and we do that by offering both practical and financial support. And for nearly 100 years now, we've been providing financial grants for people in the industry who are experiencing hardship for a number of reasons, ill health, inability to work, family issues, but who, for reasons outside of their control, are experiencing hardship and need some support. And at the moment, we are in extraordinary circumstances. So, of course, as a charity, we've responded to that by launching 2 very specific COVID-19 grant funds for the industry, which I was going to talk you through. But just before I do, I wanted to share with you, there we go. So before we set up the funds, actually, we did a really kind of brief 48-hour survey just to get an understanding of what was going on for people out there in the industry, what the need was, you know, what people were experiencing. And we actually got nearly 1,700 responses, so a really kind of significant number. It was particularly got a number of freelancers responding, and of those, 93% were no longer in work. So that shows the scale of the issue for freelancers within the industry. And 74% of those freelancers were not expecting to receive any government support. So we understood there's a great deal of need out there, and although there are, you know, some fantastic schemes which I've heard you've been talking through, there are still a number of people that feel like they're going to kind of fall between the gaps of the government provision and other support that's on offer. And what we've tried to do is to really target our support at these people that don't have access to any other kinds of financial support. So we've opened 2 new funds, one, the Emergency Relief Fund, in partnership with the BFI, and supported by some really generous donations from the industry, including companies like Netflix, BBC, Sky, Warner Media and BFI. And these funds can offer one-off grants from between £500 and £2,500 to active workers in the industry. And we're really targeting that support at people that have lost their income due to COVID-19, but also who have little or no access to other means of financial support. And I'm going to give you a quick overview first, and then I'll go into a bit more detail about both funds. So the other fund we have is the Repayable grant scheme. This is a fund that we've targeted specifically at freelancers that are eligible for the self-employed income support scheme, but who are then struggling with cash flow up until June, when those payments are due to be made. So that's a grant that we can offer, again, from £500 to £2,000, and that grant will be paid, you know, it's closing on Wednesday. The grant will be paid as soon as possible, and that grant is to tide you over until you receive that backdated support. The deadline for both is 6 p.m. on Wednesday, the 22nd, so that's this Wednesday, but there's still time to apply, and we just wanted to make the note that it's not a first come, first serve. So we have the applications open at the end of the closing date. We're going to review all the applications, and we're going to be giving out the funding based on kind of priority and need. So it's not a first come, first serve. And just also to note that you can apply for both of these funds, whether or not you've received support from the charity in the past. So the COVID-19 Film and TV Emergency Relief Fund, as I said, one-off grants from £500 to £2,500 to active workers in film, TV and cinema who aren't eligible for the self-employment income support scheme, because we would ask them to go to the other scheme, or who are eligible but expect to receive less than £800 per month in support. And that's just to make sure that those people that are not getting a representative amount of support through the self-employment income support scheme can still access those grants. And I'm going to talk you through the eligibility criteria for the scheme, just to be really clear on that. So you need to earn the majority of your income working behind the scenes in film, TV or cinema. You have to have worked at least 40 days, or that's 8 weeks in the last 6 months, or to be able to evidence that you had a contract that you were about to start work on that's cancelled because of COVID-19. That's because, as I said, this fund is really targeted at people who have lost their income due to COVID-19, not people who had not worked for a long time, regardless of that. So to show that you were active and working in the industry. You have to have less than £2,500 in savings. You have to not currently be employed or furloughed, and not be receiving any other COVID grants in excess of £1,500. So that's the basic eligibility requirement. Then if you are eligible to apply, we'll take you through a number of other questions. I mean, both your personal details, which are just needed to get in contact with you, and then we ask a little bit about your personal situation. And that is for assessment. So we're expecting with both these schemes that we're going to have more applicants than we're going to be able to support. We're aware there's a huge amount of need out there. So we very much want to prioritise that to people in the greatest need. So we ask some questions about the financial situation that you're in, your budget, your income and your outgoings, so that we can really understand the financial situation and prioritise those grants. You apply online at the Film TV Charity website. We ask that we've got, I mean, you've just had some fantastic financial advice. We've put a little piece up on our website that summarises the other support that's available, and also how you can look to defer or delay payments on mortgages, rent, kind of household bills. And we ask that you read through that, and that before you apply, you make sure that you've done everything you can to minimise your outgoings and to maximise your income, so that as a charity we can make the funds go around as far as possible by ensuring that everyone's claiming what's due to them and also reducing their outgoings as much as possible. And we ask you to attach your CV or link to your LinkedIn page or IMDb page. That's just so that we can understand your experience within the industry. Then moving on to the COVID-19 Repayable Grant Scheme. So as I said, this is very much targeted at people who are eligible, believe they're eligible for the Self-Employment Income Support Scheme. And it is a grant that can help you with cash flow, tide you over until that money becomes available. We know that when that money is paid, it's going to be backdated. So people will be compensated, will have some income over this period of time, but we know that many people may be struggling, may not have worked for a couple of months now and really be struggling to make ends meet until that grant's payable. This scheme is very much targeting those people. We provide short-term cash flow support to cover essential living costs. Recipients are asked to repay once they've received that government support, but it's interest-free, it doesn't require any guarantees, there's no arrangement fees, and it is through a charity, so we will talk to you about when you are able to pay that funding back. And again, the criteria for that again is to confirm, to the best of your knowledge, you're eligible for the Self-Employment Income Support Scheme. If you are eligible but expect that you're going to receive less than £800 per month, you can apply for both schemes. So that's the only set of people that would be eligible to apply for both schemes if you're getting that less than £800 per month. And if you do apply for both schemes, you'll be considered for the relief fund first. And if your application for the relief fund wasn't successful, we would then consider you for the repayable grant. So you would be prioritised for the relief fund. And again, you have to have less than 2,500 in savings, not be currently employed, and not receiving in excess of 1,500 via other schemes. Again, you can apply for these on the charity's website. There's lots of detailed information about them. There's some criteria for both schemes online. There's frequently asked questions. You can download the application form and just have a look at that before you apply. One thing I would like to note is the application form does need to be filled in one go. So we suggest that you read through the application form before you apply and make sure that you have everything you need ready in order to put in that application. Anything else I want to say before we move to questions? Just to say, there is other support we have available. Our support line is open 24/7. You can call that. We can offer both a listening ear, but we can offer emotional support. We can refer you for counselling for free, but we can also offer financial advice through that scheme. And our call handlers are updated regularly about the latest advice. So that's a place that you can call if you are struggling and would just like a listening ear or some support. I also wanted to say, both these funds close on Wednesday, and we wanted to get this money out the door to people that are in real immediate need right now. But we know that this is going to be an ongoing situation. Nobody knows how long this is going to last. We also know that even when they start to ease the current lockdown situation that we're in, it's not just going to immediately go back to the way things were, or the jobs are not going to appear immediately. So this is a long-term situation, and the charity wants to have a long-term response. And we are continuing to talk to people. We know that those people that are managing right now, in a month or two, may be struggling, may have used up their financial reserves. And so we are, as long as there is a need, and as long as we continue to fundraise and offer that support, we are hoping that we will be able to offer further waves of support, and we may be able to support people in slightly different situations, because we know that need is going to change over time. The two funds that we have at the moment are very much focused and targeted on the group of people that we identified as having the greatest need right now.